Hello everyone, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. We're gonna celebrate Christmas in July. There's nothing I love more than Christmas. I truly believe that. Like, Christmas is top of my list, and right now Hallmark Channel has all of the Christmas movies going on, and so I figured what better way to celebrate Christmas in July than busting out my favorite holiday makeup products and just playing with them, using them, putting them on my face together. So if you're interested in just hanging out with me using some Christmas themed makeup, then just keep on watching. So if you've been with my channel for a while, you know that I've got a good selection of holiday makeup. I mean, I have collected it through the years, and while I don't always keep all of it because you gotta declutter at some point, there are pieces that I hold on to because they truly are my favorite. I think for me, Too Faced does it the best when it comes to theming, and that's really what draws me in the most to pulling a product. I'm just gonna be quite honest. So for the eyes today, we've got several things to work with, but for the eyes, I'm gonna pick one of these two, which if you remember are from last year's collection. And I loved these so much. But here's the thing. One of my favorite palettes of life is also a holiday release. And it was Pat McGrath's holiday release from last year as well. So for the face, this was from a couple of years ago, or was it last year? I think it was a couple of years ago, but this is the Laura Mercier face palette. I'm not as much of a fan of the artwork, but that kind of nullifies my statement of packaging drawing me in. But there's something about the products in this palette that I just love so much. But yeah, we've just got a whole lot. I thought I had pulled, oh, I did. There's also Hourglass. I don't know which one I want to use because holiday brings out these little palettes from Hourglass. And then we've got, of course, the Christmas themed lippies. So I think we're going to go ahead and get started with, I'm seriously considering going in with the neutral palette, which is very much a departure for me. But no, I think we're going to do this one. I'm feeling the glitter, and you know what? Maybe we'll use a little bit of both. So let's go ahead and get started. So I think because of the shirt that I'm wearing today, I honestly think that these pinks would go really nicely. I can't even tell you how excited it makes me to pull these things out, because it makes me wonder what they're going to use for what they're going to do for this holiday season. I'm so curious on what releases. I think we have an idea of what's going to be inside the Too Faced palettes. It's a lot of repetition usually, but the theming is what gets me. So at this point in time, I'm going to switch over to a voiceover, and that way the video isn't super long, but I hope you enjoy.
Starting off with the Foxy Neutrals palette, I'm going to go in with the shade Elfed Up on a blending brush. This particular one is a BH Cosmetics blending brush. I'm just going to place this all over the crease. I'm going for kind of a lighter pink moment in the crease, just so that it can tie in with what we're going to do here in a little bit. And I did build it up 2 or 3 times. Okay, moving into the shade Drummer Girl with a smaller blending brush, and I'm going to place this in my crease, but a little bit lower than that pink shade to deepen it up, as well as to take it into the outer portion of the lid. This is what's going to kind of peek through once we take a deeper shade right by it, but just adding a little bit of warmth and dimension to the look. Going back in with that first brush that I used and just kind of blending everything out. It was looking a little bit harsh, but just blending that out and then adding a little bit more of that Elfed Up shade just because I lost some of it, so I really wanted that to peek through. Going in now to the Unbearably Glam palette, and I'm dipping into the Candy Cane shade. This is a, oh goodness, I think it is a Morphe brush. It's actually a Morphe brush. I can't remember these days if it's Morphe or BH, but going in with a denser brush, which I would usually use my finger, but we're going to layer this. So just adding this just with a brush, no tacky base, and I did, again, layer a couple of times. I think it's funny how Too Faced names their candy cane, like they name these pink shades candy cane, where you think it would be red. Alright, going in with the shade Nutcracker. This is a deeper shade that we're going to use on the outer portion of the lid right before that lighter brown that we just used. This is what's going to deepen it up, make it a little bit, it's not a smoky look by any means, but it's going to make it just slightly more sultry. I did also take this a little bit into the crease, just a bit, again, just to add that dimension and that warmth. Going in with my Fenty Pro Filter Eye Primer. This is a staple for me, and placing this on the, I would say the innermost portion of the lid up to about a third into the lid, because this is where we're going to place our glitter. So going in with the String of Lights glitter, I had a little bit of an issue picking up glitter on the brush, and usually I go in with my fingers, so that's probably why. However, once I got what I needed, this just placed so easily, and it is that type of glitter that has its own adhesive. I, though, like to put my tacky base regardless. So I am taking it up into like kind of that little arch of the crease, because it's going to kind of be over that pink shade that we've laid down, and we're about to add some more of that. But just placing this on the third of the lid, and again into that little arch area. And I'm going back into that candy cane shade with my finger and placing this down, and that just made it pop so much more. I'm going back in with that Nutcracker shade because, again, I did lose some of that when I was laying down that candy cane shade just now, and I'm adding a little bit more just depth. I really want it to look a little deeper, and again, taking it back into the crease just so that it all ties in together, so there's nothing awkward just sitting on its own. Going in with a liner brush. This is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe collection, and I'm just placing this on the lower lash line just to kind of, again, tie it all together, to add something to my lower lash line. I felt like leaving it bare just wasn't appropriate for this look. This is going to be a little bit more of a glam look. So just tying this all together with that, not going too heavy-handed, but definitely placing something there. Now going in with Lords a Leaping and a tiny little detailer brush. Again, I think this is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe collection. Did take a little bit of digging, but once I got what I needed, it was absolutely perfect. It does have like a pinky, rosy kind of tone, but it's icy, so it's perfect for the inner corner. And this is exactly what I needed to tie into those pink shades that I have on the lid. Alright, so an Hourglass palette. I love that Hourglass comes out with great blush palettes like this around the holidays. So this is the Ambient Lighting Blush Palette, and we're going to go in with that first blush right there called Luminous Flush. I went in with a fluffier brush. These tend to need a little bit more of a dense brush, because if not, you end up using more product than necessary. But it's the brush that was clean and I had on hand, and it actually worked really nicely. It's just that I probably picked up more than I needed as far as like dusting away, since it was so fluffy. But this was the perfect tone for this eye look. I hope Hourglass does more of that this holiday season. I love their blush palettes. And I know they do a palette every year, but those have like the bronzer and the kind of, not setting powder, but you know, finishing powder. Going in with a Too Faced face palette. This came with, gosh, I can't remember. It was like a gingerbread house, I think. Anyways, but I don't typically love Too Faced face products in holiday sets, but I picked up a lot of bronzer unknowingly on my brush, and it's going to take quite a bit of work to blend out. But this particular palette was kind of the exception to the rule in that I loved it. And again, I don't typically love the little face palettes or products that they put in with their holiday collections. This one was awesome. And by the way, it's called Extra Toasty. Now, I tend to get a little bit messy when it comes to bronzing on my cheeks. I'm not even trying to contour, I'm just trying to bronze, but still, it can get messy. So anytime that happens, I just take my foundation brush or my sponge and just kind of blend it all out, and it works so much more. I was noticing as I was laying this one down that I thought, I feel like this has kind of a red tone as well, and I thought that with the last Too Faced holiday bronzer I used, which was the gingerbread one. So I don't know, in the pan it doesn't look like it has a whole lot of red, but once I started laying it down I was like, Alright, so the Laura Mercier Cheek Canvas Soft Cheek Palette, I'm going in with one of the highlighters. So this particular highlighter is called Nude Glow, and I am not a fan of the artwork of this palette. It's a little, I don't know. I don't want to say too much because, you know, this is somebody's art and I don't want to, you know, knock it. It's just not for me. I'm sure it's for some people. But this is one of those scenarios where the packaging doesn't draw me in. It's really more what's inside that draws me in. But usually I am a packaging type of girl. Let's go into lips. Now this was a difficult decision because I love a good Christmas lip. And Too Faced releases these little melted matte sets and I love them, but I also love the Kylie Grinch lipstick set just because, honestly, the theming. But I decided to go in with the Candy Cane shade because I thought that would pair the best. Now the formula on these little minis that they release for holiday are so much better than their regular lineup. The regular melted mattes dry out, so they're just gross, they're crusty, they flake. These don't. These almost like glide over the lip lines and give you that puffy airbrushed look. And I love putting these to use. So this shade is one of my very favorites actually. It's very bright, it's pigmented, and again, it just looks so flawless. So just placing this on the lips for that fun Christmas look. And one thing I love about these as well is that they smell so yummy. So let's top it off with an Anastasia gloss. I love, again, holiday is perfect for these little sets, but I love when they come out with these little glitter glosses because they are just some of my very favorites. So this particular one is in the shade Pink Tourmaline, I don't know. I feel like I always say it wrong, but these are so lovely. And again, I love getting them in these little sets because you get to try multiple shades and whoever goes through them to begin with. Honestly, I hadn't used these in a while, but the Anastasia gloss formula is one of my very favorites. It's very shiny. It's, if you get a actual shade, it's very pigmented, and these are just so pretty. They lay very, very well without being goopy and gross, and they just add to that holiday look with that dazzle and sparkle. Just, again, some of my favorites. Well, guys, this is it. Merry Christmas in July.
Alrighty, my friends. Well, that brings us to the end of this video. I am so happy. I'm so excited at how this look turned out. And quite frankly, I am so happy that I dipped back into my Christmas makeup, my favorite, not all of my favorites, but a good bit of them. And now I'm ready to go watch a Hallmark Christmas movie. So I hope you enjoyed it. Also, I hope it inspired you to pull out some of your own Christmas makeup goodies and have your own Christmas in July. So I appreciate you stopping by, spending some time with me. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me so very much. And if you're new, I hope you'll consider subscribing. Before I let you go, I just want to give you a very quick verse of the day, just in an effort to encourage you. And it comes from 1 Thessalonians 4:11. It says, "Make it your ambition to lead a quiet life, to mind your own business, and to work with your hands just as we told you." I feel like that is it's such a meaningful verse, especially in this day and age. Live a peaceful life, mind your own business, do your own thing, and whatever happens around you, let it be. Alrighty, my friends. Well, I love each and every one of you so very much, but Jesus loves you so much more. There's even no comparison. So guys, I will see you in the next video. Until the next one, have a great rest of your day. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.